Along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Did you know there are financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from any losses? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from market losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Welcome to Total Wine and More.
I'm on cooler duty this weekend.
Fill it up with seltzers and canned cocktails.
Oh, wow, great prices.
Find what you love what you find. At Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orse and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
You can ask your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk and stay connected to everything happening in the world, the country, and the community. It's all through the new Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Ooh, it's a hot one in St. Louis today, and I don't know what the temperature is outside, but I think it's 92 degrees in the studio right now. Brad?
It's pretty warm in here, and I'm usually cold-blooded.
I am sweating right now, and we're going to get to the news. First, I'll just tell you, Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us at 12:25 to talk about the Sussman Trial. Jim Carafano is going to talk about Taiwan, Biden, and China at 1:05. And Matt Hausman, who is a candidate for Illinois' 13th Congressional District, which has been vacated by Rodney Davis because the Democrats redistricted him out of it, is going to join us at 1:25. But before that, I think we're going to do the show naked today because the morning show left the space heater on in the studio and it was on high. And holy smokes.
Be a good day to jump on the webcam.
Whoo! Or a bad day. My gosh, I literally have my hair tied in a knot on the top of my head because I don't have a ponytail holder. Man. Are we going to be able to make it?
I mean, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you. I've never had to tie my hair.
Between the caffeine I've had this morning and the 80-degree temperature in here, what do you think the real temperature is in here? Mid to upper 70s?
Yeah, 76 or so.
Because it gets, I mean, in all fairness to the morning show, there is an ebb and flow to the temperature of this room. And there are times of day where it is frigid in here, and there are specific places where vents are placed. So if you're sitting under a vent, like Denise sits under the vent over there because she's the one who usually uses a space heater. I mean, like it will polar vortex.
It will freeze you out.
Man, it's hot. Wiggins said he won't even come in here until the temperature is lowered.
That's probably a good thing.
I know.
Let's
I'm
just
the
keep
one who
telling
I
them
came
it's
in
hot.
and turned the space heater on myself. So anyway, man, I got to tell you, today is a primary day, specifically in Georgia. How much do you watch the primaries and the results? Do you just like follow up at the end, Brad, and see what happened, or
Yeah,
are you
I don't live watch them unless it's my state, and then I will pay more attention to it. But I like to follow up at the end. I'm curious to see how the different candidates go, and like the YouTube poll question is. And I hope I'm not scooping you here, but
no, it's a good segue.
I am looking forward to seeing how Trump's endorsements work out.
So I guess if Wiggins is listening, he should come in here because he's probably the biggest nerd on this. And I know for a fact that Wiggins America is not on this topic, and he can probably dive into this more than I can. He's going to walk in here like Kramer here in a second. The Donald Trump's endorsement, there are competing campaign rallies in Georgia where Mike Pence is on one and Trump is on the other.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that it's actually, it's the closest manifestation that we've had, like tangible manifestation we've had of the split post January of 2021.
Yeah. And it's kind of a picture of kind of like the Republican Party in a way too, because you've got the Mike Pence, Brian Kemp Republicans, and then you've got the Donald Trump, David Perdue Republicans. It's very, very interesting to watch.
Do you have a side? Do you care?
No, I don't really care. I think that Kemp will pull it out. I don't think Perdue is going to win. I think Kemp will win, but I don't really have a side really in that. I think that both men would be good at the job.
I feel like a lot of Republicans, I would put myself in this category, are watching all of this stuff and paying attention to all of this stuff that's in the primaries that are happening in different states to see, what kind of coattails does Donald Trump have? Clearly, I mean, he can lose some races here and still have massive coattails.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia is an outlier of controversy. I mean, Georgia is ground zero of the whole election fraud discussion. And let's not forget that what took place in Georgia, the contested election where they said that it wasn't fair and wasn't honest, that was Stacey Abrams who said that.
Yes.
She is running for re-election in Georgia. She's in the primary today to win the Democratic nomination. She'll win it. And it will be Stacey Abrams versus Kemp or Perdue. I, for one, am watching, paying attention. I do care about the results, but I feel like I'm not in the fight. I feel like I'm waiting for the fight to resolve itself between the factions of the Republican Party, because in a primary, that's how this works. Who's going to represent Republicans the best? In Missouri, you have quite a opportunity to pick somebody to send to the Senate in place of Roy Blunt, who's retiring. Josh Hawley, my opinion, is killing it in the Senate. And you have a lot of great options in front of you to double that strong forward-thinking conservatism, kind of the new Republican Party. I think Roy Blunt himself would say that the Republican Party that he came into in the Senate looks a little bit different. The future of it looks a little different than what he's leaving. Illinois, you have a lot of opportunity to look at what is coming forward and make an actual difference in the way the state is run in a much more seismic way than Missouri has, because Missouri has their act together. I know that Republicans in Missouri are frustrated with the Republicans in the supermajority, but that feels very much like a grass is greener situation for me. So you look at the primaries that are taking place across the country, and I know that there are people watching these primaries who are on Team Trump, who are very invested in seeing Donald Trump win. It's him on the ballot in Georgia for a lot of people tonight. And I don't know if he's going to do well or if he's not. So on the Anti-Frey YouTube live chat poll today, so if you go to the Anti-Frey YouTube channel and you look in the live chat there, you can vote in the poll. If Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? And you can comment and let us know why. Hannah is back today, and she's going to be doing that, giving us the results in the 2:45 segment. Do you think Georgia is a pivotal point for the Trump coattails? Did you vote in this poll?
I did. And I think that I voted yes. That I think it is. I don't think it's make or break, but I think it will lessen his influence a little bit if his candidates don't win. But I think it also gives you kind of an idea of where we are as a country and if we're ready to go back to Donald Trump, or if we're like, we really like Trump things, we really like Trump policy, we really like that sort of thing, but we need a more polished traditional style to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know where the country is on that. We are so incredibly divided. Left and right of center, we're super divided. And then on the right, we're super divided. On the left, they're super divided. This is everybody. And in primary season, this is okay. This is a healthy thing. We get to do this in this country. For now,
yeah.
Vote Republican. Just going to say that right there. Andy on YouTube said, I'm just here to see how long topless conservative talk will be allowed to stay on YouTube. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes Wiggins to put his shirt back on. Let's see if the numbers go up or down.
Probably think he's just wearing a sweater if he came in here without a shirt on.
I wouldn't know. Do you know?
I don't. Just making a guess.
Just assuming.
Usually when the hair goes from up here, it
shows up on the
else.
chest. So it's a bit hot in here. Didn't we used to have a thermometer over here?
I've never seen one.
I wonder if that broke. There's a little like Eiffel Tower or something like that. I wonder if it's in here. So we're going to, I don't know, we might end up opening the studio door just to let some more airflow in here at some point. So it's Georgia, Texas is tonight. Alabama, is that right?
I think Alabama, yeah.
I'm going to pull up the primary day. It's important to remember that Illinois is June 28th and Missouri is August 2nd. And we're going to continue to have on candidates throughout the course of the weeks to come. And I keep getting asked on a regular basis, Annie, are you going to put together a voter guide? And I'm torn on that because I don't want to tell you who to vote for. My goal up until this point has been to try to bring you the candidates as much as I possibly can. I do know that I have the Missouri Senate candidates on. They reach out to us. We bring them to you. That's how we've managed that. And I've tried to be respectful of the fact that it's a Missouri race. It's hugely important. And to be honest, the Republican winning that Missouri race as an Illinois resident is hugely important to me.
Me too.
Hugely important to me because Tammy Duckworth is up for re-election, and I don't think she's going to have any trouble winning her re-election.
That's a shame.
I would love to see that change. But in Missouri, if the Missouri seat ends up going to a Democrat and that ends up making the balance of power 51-49 in favor of the Democrats, that's a big deal. The Missouri seat needs to stay red 100% in order for the Republicans to retain that or to earn that majority. Simple majority, but majority nonetheless. Think about taking Kamala Harris out of that position to be the deciding vote on a tie.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm here for that for sure. So about the voter guide, I get asked about this a lot. Illinois early voting is open right now. You can go vote in Illinois. I'm going to have somebody, let's write this down, Brad, to help me remind me to do this. I want to have someone come on and talk about early voting. You can vote early in Illinois. You should vote early. I enjoy going to vote on election day, but there's really, in my opinion, not a reason not to vote early. I'm going to be out of town on election day, June 28th. So I'm going to vote early. And maybe I'll document that experience as much as I can. Do you want to know who I'm voting for? I'm hesitant to do that because I want you to do the research. And if I'm presenting you with your options, I think what I was going to do, I was talking with some people here at the station yesterday. I think what I might do is list the races, list the candidates, and tell you what my thoughts are on them so that you can still make a choice for yourself.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Because it seems to me like if I tell you who I'm voting for, then I am essentially, if I make that known, then I'm endorsing a specific candidate. And I actually do believe that every single Republican running for office, specifically in the governor's race, which is what people asked me the most, every single one is light years better.
Oh, yeah.
Than J.B. Pritzker. And I know that folks are people in Missouri getting flyers the way we are in Illinois?
That's a great question because it seems like every day I come home, there's a new flyer in the mail. My wife's getting
one flyer?
Yeah, good point. Like 3. And they're all calling everybody every name under the sun. My wife's getting text messages that are saying essentially what the flyers are saying.
Yeah, same.
I'm not.
My husband gets text messages that say, and then they go into what they want. And he's like, what did you do? I was like, sorry.
I had to use a phone number.
I have this new thing where I don't really want the stuff, but I need to sign up. So
yeah,
I don't do that. Unless it's like Old Navy rewards. That one I did on purpose.
Just get a burner phone, one of them Walmart, like $10 burner phones.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and I want you to go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Very curious what your thoughts are on this. If Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, that primary is taking place tonight, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? You can leave a comment if you want to about why you think yes or no. If you vote in the poll, as far as I know, there's no way to track what you vote for, right? I should have said this a long time ago.
No, not to my knowledge.
No, I can't see that. It doesn't record like Brad Range voted yes. There's none of that. So just go vote in the poll and be heard. And we'll comment. We'll take your comments on that in the 2:45 hour. When we come back, I am so excited to talk to Hans von Spakovsky, who is going to tell us the gravity of that testimony that we heard the end of last week. Robby Mook saying that he did discuss with Hillary Clinton herself about the Russia collusion information, the Alpha Bank story. And she said, do it, go with it, run with it. Because if you remember my last conversation with Hans, I said, do we have any evidence whatsoever that Hillary was aware? I know that we assume, but do we have any evidence? And the answer then was, no, we don't. Now we have testimony. Stick around. We'll be right back with Hans von Spakovsky on the Sussman Trial, the Durham Probe in just a minute. Don't go away.
Out ahead.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You and me chasing paper, getting nowhere, on our way back home.
Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022. Coverage sponsored by Air Comfort Service and TR Hughes Homes.
My friend Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, man, this is the guy you need to contact right now. With pennies having to be pinched right now, it doesn't matter if you're middle class. If you've got financial expectations and obligations and you were easily managing it maybe 4 years ago, I don't know, I'm just picking a number, and things are starting to get tight, you are looking for opportunities to improve your financial situation. Maybe it's a loan obligation that you have that has a pretty high interest rate. Go to Stewie. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. He will compete and beat your locked in rate. Make sure you're locking in the lowest terms rate available. You got to call Stewie. He will help you. I promise. He's helped me twice. It is for real. This is not a gimmick. He is a legit good person who is going to walk you through this process, and his team, his staff, they're the best. If you are looking to do a refinance, to use some of the equity in your home to pay off that high interest debt, you got to go with Stewie. Use the bagel loan. Don't pay fees that everybody else out there is going to charge you for. You're going to save so much money with my friend Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
On Saturday, May 28th, the Cardinals host the Milwaukee Brewers. And that day, 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older, will take home their very own stainless steel tumbler featuring Yadier Molina, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. This 30-ounce Yadi tumbler comes in 2 styles, and you will not know which one you will receive until you enter the gates at Busch Stadium. That's Saturday, May 28th, the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Yadi tumbler. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com.
Kick off the summer season and spend your Memorial Day at the ballpark. On Monday, May 30th, the Cardinals host the Padres, and that day, 25,000 fans ages 21 and older will take home their own set of 4 cornhole bags thanks to Budweiser. There are 2 designs available, one that highlights memorable pitchers and one that features Cardinals' great catchers. That's Monday, May 30th. Great seats remain, so get your tickets today at cardinals.com.
Our national debt is now over $30 trillion, an increase of over 20% in just the past 2 years. I'm sure you've been told at some point that taxes will be lower when you retire, but do you truly believe that? Now is the time to begin planning for the future of tax increases. Is your financial advisor helping you with tax planning for a tax-efficient future? If not, this is the time to call me, Ken Heisey, at Heisey Advisory Group, 314-328-6000. If you're like most people, you have a portfolio of investments, but a portfolio is not a plan. How have you planned for the potential legislative risk of increased taxes? Call Heisey Advisory Group now and let us help you create a plan to reduce the tax risk in your retirement. 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Retirement specialist and author Connie Fox from right here in Missouri wants to give you a free copy of her new book, Crash Proof Wealth. According to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. And after seeing the last market crash of over 39%, she said enough. She's discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and when the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Connie Fox now to get a free copy of her book and talk to the author to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next market crash hits. Call 1-800-657-9494 now to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. She'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 800-657-9494. That's 1-800-657-9494. 1-800-657-9494.
There's a long black train coming down.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Rails of sin, only evil remains. Watch out, brother, for that long black train. Look to the heavens, you can look.
And what's really quite breathtaking in this case is that Hillary Clinton greenlighted with the release of this claim, even though the campaign was told that there are serious problems with what they were alleging. But she greenlighted it and then told the public something that was pretty much untrue, right? She went on to Twitter and said, hey, Slate just ran a story that there's this connection through Alpha Bank. She and Jake Sullivan, now the national security advisor, basically pretended to the public that this was all news to them and that they were breathless at this new disclosure when the campaign created this scandal and it was totally unfounded.
Jonathan Turley on Fox, the Fox News channel, talking about the Sussman trial that's taking place and what I thought was bombshell testimony by Robby Mook saying that he did have a conversation directly with Hillary Clinton and that she approved the plan to release this, I guess, unvetted information to the press or to whomever the plan was to entail. I know I was off Thursday and Friday. This came through. It was jaw-dropping to me, but it's interesting to me that, of course, there are a slim number of networks that are willing to cover this story. I guess the Johnny Depp Amber Heard story is just too compelling for the United States of America. That's why we go to our friend Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also DOJ lawyer. Hans, welcome back to the show. You're my favorite person to talk to about this issue, and we're glad you're here.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Was it a bombshell, Hans? Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, last week they had four important witnesses. They had the FBI General Counsel James Baker. He was the guy that Sussman met with and fed the false information to. They had two witnesses from the CIA, who also one of whom met with Sussman. But most importantly, they had Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign manager, Robby Mook. Now, what was interesting about that is, look, right now, the prosecution is putting on its case. The witnesses being brought in are the prosecution's witnesses. Robby Mook was actually the defendant witness, and he was called out of order because apparently he's going on a vacation. And so Sussman's lawyers asked if they could bring him on, and the judge said yes. But yeah, what he said was I think jaw-dropping, because not only did he admit that Hillary Clinton herself agreed to the decision to leak the Alpha Bank allegations to the press, but then, as Jonathan Turley says, they put out tweets as if this was all news to them. So she was directly involved in feeding this whole story. What the prosecution is calling the October surprise, right? A scandal so big it would disrupt the election. And at one point, the prosecutor asked Mook to read the date of Clinton's tweet. And what was it? October 31st,
Sure.
right before the election.
Yeah, that's convenient. Hans von Spakovsky on with us right now with the Heritage Foundation, DOJ lawyer, senior legal fellow there at the Heritage Foundation. Tell me real quick here, the purpose of this specific trial, what is the prosecution prosecuting? What's the win here?
The prosecution is for lying to a federal agent. That is a federal crime. If the FBI talks to you and questions you and you lie to them, even about something you did legitimately, that lie can land you in federal prison. And the lie here is Michael Sussman, when he went to James Baker, the FBI's general counsel, and said, "Hey, I got this information you need to know about Donald Trump and the Russians." He said to James Baker, "Oh, no, I'm not representing a client. I'm just doing this because I'm a good citizen." And when Baker was up on the stand, he said, "No, Sussman said to me he was not representing a client." And the prosecutor then said, "If you had known that this information being given to you had been generated by the Clinton campaign, and the Sussman represented the Clinton campaign, would the FBI have handled the situation differently?" And he said, and this is a quote, "It would have changed my assessment of the reliability and credibility of the information." That's a key point, because obviously the reason Sussman didn't want the FBI to know that he was representing the political campaign, because then they would have said, "Well, wait a minute, this is just opposition research. You're not really giving us something real." And of course, that's why he lied about it, according to the prosecution. By the way, one of the CIA witnesses, who his full name wasn't given, they obviously didn't want to identify him, said that he also met with Sussman and interviewed him about this data that was being given to them. And he also insisted that Sussman said to him, "No, I'm not representing a client." So we now not only have the general counsel of the FBI saying that Sussman lied to them, we have the CIA guy confirming that. Yeah, he lied to me too.
Is there any sort of scenario where Sussman, who did have a relationship with the Hillary Clinton campaign for the presidency, could have discovered information and in goodwill gone to the FBI, not representing a campaign? Does that scenario exist?
No, the only way to have done this honestly, let's assume for a second that Sussman really believed that this data, the supposed connection between this Russian bank and Trump was real. If he really believed it was true and he really was thinking the FBI should look into it, he had a complete ethical and professional obligation to say to them, "Look, I'm giving this to you because I think you ought to look into it, but you should know that my law firm, my partner, represents the opposition candidate for Donald Trump." And in fact, at one point during the trial last week, the U.S. Justice Department was able to produce evidence of his billing record, Sussman's billing record, billing the Clinton campaign for his work.
Isn't there an obligation for the FBI, to investigate Sussman and any connections he might have when he provides this bombshell information to the FBI? It seems to me like Sussman should be vetted. Would it have been that hard to connect the dots and put Sussman in connection with the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Well, here's the problem and why they picked Sussman to feed this hoax data to the FBI. Because James Baker, the general counsel, and Sussman were personal friends. Sussman had worked at the Justice Department at one point before he went into private practice. So he was basically taking advantage of his personal relationship, and Baker assumed that Sussman was acting in good faith because he knew him and had a personal relationship with him.
Is it known that James Baker wouldn't have had that connection determined previously, or was that information just potentially as useful to James Baker as it might have been to the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Well, I have no doubt that when they were discussing this at the Clinton campaign, and Mook said that the campaign senior staff talked about this information and leaking it. I have no doubt that they knew that Sussman had a personal relationship with James Baker, because Sussman would have told him that. He would have said, look, I can provide this information to the FBI. Why? Well, because I know the general counsel. You really think he's not going to say that?
Yeah.
The campaign, I'm sure, knew that.
So just to be incredibly specific, because I think so often I do this myself, is that I get so steeped in these issues, and sometimes the details of the what that we're talking about, we just talk about it like everybody assumes, like we assume that everybody understands it. The specific information that Sussman brought to the FBI that was discussed between Robby Mook and Hillary Clinton herself, that Hillary Clinton herself said, yes, let's go with it. What were those details that was given to the FBI from Sussman?
That the Trump campaign and Donald Trump had a secret relationship with the Alpha Bank. The Alpha Bank is basically a Russian government bank. And so therefore, who knows what was going on? Why is there these back channel communications going on between, in essence, the Russian government and Donald Trump? And obviously there must be something wrong going on there. That was the information, the fact that there were supposedly these internet communications going on between the Russian government bank and Donald Trump and his campaign. That's the information they gave them, which the CIA quickly determined was basically bogus information.
So, Hans, I have to ask this question. We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, DOJ lawyer, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. The information that Sussman brought to the FBI created an illusion of an inappropriate relation between Donald Trump and a Russian bank, a money question with a foreign country that was an adversary. Do we right now, through the Hunter Biden laptop, have more evidence to suggest that the Biden family, including the president of the United States, could potentially be compromised due to financial relationships they have with foreign countries that are not necessarily our allies? Do we have more evidence now that the Biden family could potentially be influenced than we ever had about the Trump family?
Yes. Yes, because there's all kinds of email communications in Hunter Biden's laptop, which everybody now acknowledges is real, was not a planted piece of disinformation. And we know that Hunter Biden made all kinds of money from these foreign oligarchs and foreign governments. Nobody questions that. In fact, there's reports that he's being investigated for not actually properly reporting all of that income, so he may have tax problems. But there is much more actual, real evidence now than was ever existed with what turned out to be a hoax.
So Sussman brings these details, this kind of air of skepticism, of nefarious behavior between Donald Trump and this Russian Alpha Bank, which has been determined to be completely fabricated. Is that correct?
Yes.
He takes it to the FBI. What happens with that information after Sussman turns it over to the FBI?
Well, they apparently pretty quickly determined that it was not credible, that's what the CIA also was saying about it. But they continue to go forward. That should have been the first clue to them that there's something wrong going on, but that did not prevent them from going forward with the applications to the FISA court, that's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court, the federal court that secretly authorizes electronic surveillance of foreign spies. And they went forward and got those electronic warrants to start tapping into, listening and bugging the Trump campaign. Remember how the left just laughed at the idea of Trump saying he was being bugged. Well, he was. And those warrants should never have been issued. What happened with Sussman, with his bogus information, was a clear and obvious sign to the FBI that they were being played. They were being conned in what turned out to be one of the biggest and most successful political cons in our history.
So is it fair to say that Hillary Clinton was knowingly a party to an effort to provide disinformation to the country that would ensure that she would be elected president of the United States?
I think it's hard to come to any other conclusion.
That would be stealing an election, right? I mean, I look
it certainly would be. It certainly would be trying to manipulate election results.
Getting to the details of this and this testimony that took place in the Sussman trial last week, and it continues. The trial continues to go on. It is infuriating to know what the duly elected president of the United States in Donald Trump endured for the entirety of his presidency. It tainted the entire thing. It was fabricated. It was done purposefully. And I think that the most disgusting part of it is if Hillary Clinton would have won, the American people never would have known the truth.
Right. And even now it looks like she'll get away with it. You know, the weirdest thing, most bizarre thing about all this, Eddie, is the fact that her campaign manager, Rodney Mook, who basically admitted Hillary Clinton knew about all this, he was called by the defense as a witness. I'm not quite sure why they thought that this would somehow help them. I think it's hurt them tremendously in this trial.
Hans, last question for you, because I don't know. I know what expectations people have, what they want to see happen, and I don't know how realistic it is to think that we're going to see a perp walk with Hillary Clinton in an orange jumpsuit. But I am curious about the potential of how this could affect other people who were tied into this potential conspiracy here. If it's possible that somebody's going to say, you know what, I'll take immunity, I'd like to talk.
Well, I would hope that happens, although so far there's been hardly anyone who's done that, except I think with the exception of one of the Georgia Tech researchers who helped gather a lot of this data. I'm afraid that, like I said, I'm afraid Hillary Clinton's going to get away with this, as will most of her top campaign people, because they were insulated. You know, they went through other people to get them to talk to the FBI, like Michael Sussman. So it's Michael Sussman, the one that's being charged with lying to the FBI, not Rodney Mook.
I just said last question, but one more. If the Republicans are to win the majority, specifically in the House, will the oversight powers that they have potentially contribute to some of the questions that are continuing to be raised in this trial?
Yeah, if they mount an intensive and a good investigation, I think they should take everything that John Durham uncovers and run with it.
Okay. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, DOJ lawyer. A pleasure to have you here. We look forward to talking to you again about this as details continue to merge.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Hans. Author of the book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. You should go check that out right now. I mean, that's talking about like the election system. Think about what Hillary Clinton did. Guaranteed the behavior of the Hillary Clinton campaign created a tainted reputation for Donald Trump and the people who are associated with him, not even from the top of the first inning. It was before they took the field. Think about the success that America had under that president in the midst of the most contrived conspiracy to keep him from power and to remove him from power. Folks, they impeached him twice. And this is the underlying foundation of it all. It's absolutely disgusting. And we're going to keep talking about it. I know that I don't even want to call them the mainstream media anymore. Nobody watches them. Can you be mainstream if nobody watches
If you're
you?
not in the mainstream.
I think I saw it was like a Pete Hegseth filled in on a Saturday or something for some show, or maybe it was a Friday night or something, and he beat every show that aired on any network that was not Fox News.
Wow.
It was like, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That I've got a question too, and it's like, so they go through this whole investigation. Durham's turning all this stuff over. This happened at the beginning of Trump's presidency, like you said, before they even took the field. And then we launched a special prosecutor investigation into this. How did the Mueller investigation not turn up any of this?
Yeah, there are so many questions.
Yeah.
And if when the Republicans take the majority in 168 days, they'll be sworn in less than 2 months after that is a new Congress. You better have your act in gear, a laser focused methodology to get truth out. Don't do the politics thing. Get to the truth. It's about time that became the goal of DC. And I would love to see it and cover it and expose it. Speaking of exposing, Ryan Wiggins in the studio next. It is still hot in here. Are you getting better? Is it getting better for you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm sweating. The Mark Hawk Show left the space heater on in here, and it is toasty. So if you want to check out what we look like when we're sweating, you can go to the live chat or the YouTube channel and vote in the live chat. Poll: if Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? When we come back, Wiggins America, and he's going to talk about hamburgers. I know that's going to keep you right here on 97.1 FM Talk. We'll be back in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Go riding on that long black train.
The Mark Reardon Show. Frank Cusimano, who joins us every Monday and Friday.
If you are sick, you go to a doctor. If you're a struggling baseball team, you go to Pittsburgh.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're looking for a great haircut, I want you to check out Hair Saloon. If you haven't given them a try yet, once you do, you're going to understand why once men choose to go get their haircuts at Hair Saloon, they don't go anywhere else. They get the appointment scheduled on their website, super simple to do, and they make sure that they have their appointments booked out in the future because they want to go to the best. Hair Saloon for Men remembers and is working to restore the tradition of going to the barber shop. My husband and my son generally go together, and it's a great experience for them. They get treated like gentlemen, and I am all in favor of things that encourage gentlemanly behavior. Hair Saloon is definitely one of them. If you are young, if you are old, if you're in the middle, the Hair Saloon experience is tailored to helping you relax and prepare for whatever the world is going to throw your way. They're going to give you a complimentary beverage when you sit down. They're going to have a relaxing shampoo, hot towel, mint, complimentary shoe shine, and a fantastic haircut every single time. They have 16 St. Louis area locations. They are located on the Missouri side of the river and the Illinois side of the river. Hair Saloon for men against the grain. You can find out all the information I'm talking about online at hairsaloon.com.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call Call the Land Story Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Take action to demand #more for mental health by creating your own graphic to share out on social media. Customize your message, choose the colors, and add your handle for a personalized touch. Head on over to the generator to make it happen. moreformentalhealth.org/share.
Is your portfolio positioned for the biggest risks facing investors today? Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. We have experienced tremendous economic changes in the last year. Today, historically low interest rates and spiking inflation present new risks and opportunities for investors. If you haven't made changes to your investments in the last year, it's time for a portfolio review. With 100 years of combined experience, our team can help you prepare for the risks relevant to today's investors. Contact the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel to request a free portfolio review at clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and dependable traffic, driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
All right, it's time to talk about hamburgers. And of course, Ryan Wiggins is our hamburger correspondent.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! We're talking specifically about how inflation has changed the price of a hamburger. And we're breaking it down into individual ingredients.
In a hamburger.
Yes, we're going down to the elemental level of a burger.
Wheat.
No. That's too far.
He said no.
Doggone it. I over-teased that.
No.
Because you went where I should have gone. No, I'm talking about, I even put it on the board. You knew what you were doing.
Me?
Yes. Here are the ingredients.
Pig food.
Bun, lettuce, tomato, bacon, ground beef, and sauce. Now, I don't put all of these on my burger.
Sauce?
Any sauce, any condiment, any sauce. Doesn't matter. I should have put condiment, but I thought you guys would take it into a weird place.
What really happened was you couldn't spell condiment, so you wrote sauce.
I just didn't want to sit here and say condiment over and over.
Here we are.
So I just said sauce. Any sauce, doesn't matter. And cheese is not included. That debate is a different day.
I told you not to mention cheese.
That's why I didn't.
Well, the segment's over.
So do you guys want to take a guess as to what, in order, has been the greatest increase that's made the price of a burger go up, and what's
so we're
the least?
talking about what's the greatest increase, not what's the most expensive.
Correct. Yeah. What's the year over year? What's the greatest increase of those ingredients?
I'm going to say beef is the obvious guess, but it might be bacon.
I'm leaning bacon.
You guys are on the right track. The meat has gone up the most. Bacon is the highest at 17% year over year. Here's what's crazy. We're now in April. The April year over year inflation is 8.3%, but April is where it started to go up. So if we're going to stay at 8% or even in the sevens year over year, last year we're now into where it was rising already. So you're comparing it to high numbers. It's really bad.
That's a good point.
it's gonna get worse too if it stays that high, because April was where it just started to rise. By May, June if it stays that high, it's gonna be really high. But anyway, bacon and ground beef are what's driving the price the most, because meat has seen one of the highest increases in inflation. After that, what's next on the list, my friends?
Bun.
I'm gonna go sauce.
It really depends on the sauce.
Condiments are all just in one category here. So you are both incorrect. The answer is lettuce.
Really?
Lettuce has gone up the next most. Then bun. Lettuce
I was wondering, don't we keep hearing that the Ukraine situation is going to affect the price of bread?
Yeah, we do.
There's like the
wheat.
largest wheat provider.
Yeah, we do. I don't know that that's actually hit us yet, but that is all around the corner anyway. Lettuce and then bun. And then at the bottom of the list is sauce, which is at about 10% in inflation, and then tomato. So tomato is the least, and that's because vegetables, if you've noticed. Now, this is weird that lettuce would be on that list, but tomato wouldn't, because most vegetables, I think lettuce kind of aside, have not gone up as much as everything else. If you notice in the grocery store, your fruits and vegetables, they've gone up, but not.
Do you do the shopping in your house?
We split it.
Brad?
No, my wife does it.
Yeah, Jared does it too. So I don't really see the prices on a regular basis. We've had this conversation before, but we do a lot of our grocery shopping. Our main grocery shopping is at Schnucks. And then if we need other goods and services, Walmart's a little bit closer to our house. We might go there for, like, we have a prescription or something to pick up. But he doesn't want me to go into Walmart.
Is there any one item that you guys look at as your gauge for inflation? Because I do this with
gas.
Well,
and I don't know
yeah.
if gas is I don't know how much is tied to inflation specifically, how much is tied to supply.
Yeah. No, I do it with McDonald's meals.
Somebody commented about a triple cheeseburger that's $2.59. Do you eat the triple cheeseburger?
Oh yeah, triple cheeseburger is pretty good.
Brad?
Not anymore.
Not any less.
Yeah. No, the McDonald's meals to me are a great gauge of how expensive everything is. It's one of the reasons I brought this hamburger item up, is because that's where it's supposed to be a cheap meal, right? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be your generic cheap meal. And when those things are at $9, $10 for just a hamburger and fries and a drink.
If you're buying for a family,
yeah, it's gone.
It's spaghetti tonight, kiddos.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. All right, that's interesting. Well, when we come back I was going to talk to you about something in the 2:00 hour. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, we've got several things for the 2:00 hour.
If Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Do you want to weigh in on this yet?
No, I'm going to wait.
Do you want to tell us at 2:00? Do you want to break down who the Trump endorsees are for us?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
I figure you probably know those off the top of your head anyway. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Jim Carafano is going to be with us to talk about Taiwan and China and Biden in just a minute. Don't go away.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Did you know there are financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from any losses? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from market losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You can put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Virulent people, some of them the dregs of society.
When Hillary Clinton called you deplorables and Joe Biden said you were the dregs of society, do you know where Richard Irvin was? Right there with them, voting in 7 of the last 8 Democrat primaries, announcing he strongly and passionately supports the lawlessness of Black Lives Matter, praising Pritzker.
It is my honor to bring to the podium a great friend, a great leader who has guided our state with professionalism and compassion.
And calling President Trump an idiot and a bigoted racist in writing. Now Irvin is lying to you. He won't tell you the truth that he voted against Trump. When Irvin ridiculed Trump as an idiot and a bigoted racist, he wasn't just saying he doesn't like Trump. He was saying he doesn't respect you. Respect yourself. In the Republican primary for governor, vote for, a Republican. Join conservatives in voting no on Richard Irvin. Paid for by people who play by the rules back.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Inflation is on the ballot. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Gas prices, retired people, that's a struggle, really.
He's voting in Alabama, one of 5 states with elections today.
Inflation, we got to do something. Go to the grocery store, it's a shock every day.
Alabama's Republican Governor Kay Ivey has 8 challengers, and the GOP Senate primary is also crowded, with Senator Richard Shelby retiring. His former chief of staff, Katie Britt, among those in the running, along with Congressman Mo Brooks, who won and then lost a Trump endorsement. Runoffs possible if no one gets to 50%. Georgia and Arkansas also have primaries for Senate and governor. Texas has runoffs, including one between State Attorney General Ken Paxton and George P. Bush, who's currently the land use commissioner. And in Minnesota, the crowded race to fill a late congressman's seat. Jim Hagedorn's widow among the candidates, with primary winners heading to a special election in August. President Biden on his way back from Asia with some parting remarks about gas prices.
The president's asked if he believes the U.S. is headed toward a recession, and he was talking about these gas prices as if the rough patch that we're working through is not to ultimately bring those prices down, but to go all electric.
When it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, will be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels.
Because truckers and farmers are so dependent on diesel, the White House says an emergency declaration has been prepared for President Biden to release diesel from the nation's reserves if it becomes necessary.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Tokyo. Just getting word of a Texas school district locked down after reports that the police officer was shot at an elementary school in Uvalde, west of San Antonio. The shooter believed to be barricaded in the school. No other details yet. America is listening to Fox News.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes and delays will leave you scrambling. Graduate to NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. No matter how big your business grows, with NetSuite, you gain visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, just like 93% of surveyed businesses who already graduated. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program. Head to netsuite.com/today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about a mix of clouds and sunshine as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. Maybe a spot shower or thunder shower, but tough to find. 75 for the high. Tonight, increasing showers and thunderstorms, non-severe. 65, kind of warm. Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Couple could be strong, but nothing widespread. 75 to 80 for the high on Wednesday. Still unsettled on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This Wednesday, the Mark Cox Morning Show 97.1 Senate Speaker Series continues with Missouri U.S. Senate candidate Billy Long. Join us at 18 North Central in O'Fallon, Missouri, where you can meet with Billy Long and Mark Cox and ask questions. In fact, you can ask them right now at 971talk.com/events. Join us for the Senate Speaker Series with featured candidate Billy Long and the Mark Cox Morning Show at 18 North Central in O'Fallon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, this is Wiggins. Do me a favor, and when you need to get your teeth cleaned, call Dr. Ty Parker and Fountains Family Dentistry. And I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you do need to get your teeth cleaned. You or your kids, your family, because that's everybody. Don't feel bad about it. Everybody always has that on their list. but it's not something we do regularly enough. But when you do it, you know that you've done your job. You've checked the box and you need to do it. Get your teeth cleaned. Fountains Family Dentistry is in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just off of Highway 64. Very, very easy to get to, and they work with your insurance if you have it. If you don't, they work with you on that too, because they know everybody's different when it comes to dental. Most people have health insurance, but dental is kind of hit and miss. So whichever category you're in, don't worry about it. They'll take care of you there, and it's very, very easy. Steve, their office manager, very easy to work with. You can make your appointment right now online at fountains.familydentistry.com. You can also get their phone number there, fountains.familydentistry.com.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25-RHINO.com.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Rising home values mean that you could have more home equity than you might imagine. And if you're considering a refi, an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot could save you thousands. Ask about their smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Have you been waiting for the perfect time to get your Missouri medical marijuana card? Today is the day at 420id.com. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in. 420id.com is a BBB accredited business with over 16,000 happy Missouri patients. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Open late every day until 9 p.m. Sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card now at 420id.com and use promo code RADIO for $30 off today.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Everybody knows you got to get it at Clement. Everybody knows you got to get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you got to get it at Clement. Everybody knows you got to get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. All
right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Because President Xi, when he came into power, with his public policy statements, made this statement, paraphrased by me, that the Taiwan situation will be resolved peacefully or forcefully. And he intends to do that while he is in power. He is threatening war with Taiwan. That is breaking the status quo. And then Jillian, he followed it up with intimidation and coercion, with multiple military incursions that we've witnessed, full-scale rehearsals of what an air power attack would look like. That is breaking the status quo. It is time for the United States to move away from strategic ambiguity, which President Xi has broken, and move towards a policy that's clear.
General Keane speaking there on Fox News, just a recent Fox News report here, a joint military exercise in which Russia and China flew nuclear-capable bombers Tuesday during President Biden's trip to Eastern Asia demonstrates how both sides remain close, quote, even as Russia brutalizes Ukraine, according to a senior administration official who spoke with Fox News. What is going on in this part of the world, and what is the United States' role in it? Let's get the details from Jim Carafano, leading expert in national security and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, there's been a lot of discussion about this. Of course, the politics seep their way into it, and it's hard for people like us to understand what the truth is. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so give me a couple of seconds to unpack this, because there's a lot of sides. On the one side, the United States is going to fight to defend Taiwan. Period. And let me tell you why. It's not about chips or democracy or anything else. Taiwan is the key island in what's called the first island chain. If you control the first island chain from Taiwan to the South China Seas, essentially you control the entire coast of Asia, and America ceases to become an Asian power. You write off South Korea and Japan because you have no access to them. The United States essentially is halfway pushed out of the Pacific. And if you're interested in this, go read your World War II history. And the islands that Japan wanted are exactly the same islands that China wants now, for exactly the same reason. They are the key to controlling access to the region. So Taiwan is actually, the independence of Taiwan actually is, I think, a vital interest in the United States. Now, having said that, this is the other side. I have no idea what Biden is doing. There's a couple of things wrong with his declaration. One is it doesn't comport with reality, because even as he is saying, well, of course we'll fight to defend Taiwan, he is diminishing America's military capacity to do that. This is, remember the line in Top Gun, like, kid, you're writing checks your body can't cash or whatever. I mean, he is, and look, the Chinese don't care what we say. They don't care. They care about what we do, and they look at the military balance and they say, oh, it's shifting in our favor. Biden is an empty suit. So that's one thing. The second thing is, in statecraft, you do things as a step to doing the next thing, right? So, for example, when Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem and he recognized the Golan Heights, those were steps to prepare the way for normalization between the Arabs and Israel. He wanted to prove to the Arab nations that you could do changes in the Middle East and you could actually marginalize the Palestinian issue, and the Arab street wouldn't burn down, and things could still move forward. So he made the shift because it led to the next move, like when you're playing chess and strategy. Biden says this, and okay, well, what's the next move? What have you accomplished? The Chinese don't give a damn that you say you're going to defend Taiwan. They don't care. So it is literally statecraft amateur hour. And then my third complaint is, this is the third time he said this, and every time he says this, the White House comes out and counters him. That makes us look like a bunch of yahoos. So, I mean, there's two issues here. One is, should the United States contribute to the defense of Taiwan? The answer is absolutely. The second issue is this administration a bunch of yahoos? And the answer is absolutely. Now, there's a hard conversation to be had here, because the Taiwanese have always thought that we would come to defend them and that the U.S. would do all the heavy lifting. But that's changing. The Taiwanese have to be able to demonstrate that they can significantly contribute to the defense of Taiwan and the deterrence of the Chinese. We have to do more in the Indo-Pacific, but they have to do more, and they need to make some hard choices. So What Biden has contributed is he's just made a mess of this. I mean, he is the worst foreign policy president that we've had in modern history. And every day he just convinces me. And the only thing I hear about Joe Biden is he is the most consistent president we've ever had. He is consistently that.
Wow. Jim Carafano with us right now, the Heritage Foundation, leading expert in national security and foreign policy. The comments that President Biden has made when he's been asked about this is that we would defend Taiwan. That is consistent with U.S. policy, the way I understand what you're saying. And the administration staff, their correction or clarification is inconsistent with U.S. policy. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, their statement is consistent with U.S. law, which is the Taiwan Relations Act, which says the United States should help, Taiwan develop its defense capability. Basically means arms transfers and sales and stuff like that. So that is, their statement is consistent with law. Biden's statement is actually consistent with U.S. strategy. I actually think going back to the 1950s, we were never going to let a hostile power, a hostile Chinese government take over Taiwan. That is a threat to us. This is like letting the Japanese take over Hawaii. I mean, this is a big deal. I made this distinction. We talked about Ukraine. I said that, there were vital interests and then things that are kind of important to us in the peripheral. And Ukraine is not a vital interest. I mean, Ukraine. Honestly, the Russians could capture Ukraine. It's a bad idea. Then the defense of NATO would not be compromised. If the Chinese captured Taiwan, that would compromise America's ability to defend its interests in the Pacific.
Is the behavior by this joint flyover of sorts with Russia and China in a nuclear-capable bomber, is this posturing or is this literally threatening?
I think it's posturing. I still think that despite what happened in Ukraine, they still see Biden largely as an empty suit. I mean, Putin was right in his assessment that if Russia had rapidly captured Ukraine, that the United States and the Europeans would have done nothing. Where he gets wrong was the Ukrainians were willing to fight for themselves. And then once they established that, the Europeans were willing to support them. And then essentially Biden had really no choice but to kind of fold in. And Biden's great at just writing checks. He doesn't have a problem spending our money. Biden is the follower in chief. I've never thought that the Chinese would take their future cues on Taiwan based on what happened in Europe. What happened in Europe is a blow to Chinese interests about destabilizing Europe, but whatever they're going to do in Taiwan, they're going to do in Taiwan, regardless of what happens in Europe. But I think they see this is kind of moving in their direction, and anything that threatens and embarrass Biden, they're willing to do because they don't think they're going to pay a price for that.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano with the Heritage Foundation. From my lack of information, just my observations here, you're the one who is the expert on this. It seems as though timing is of the essence for some of our adversarial countries, the actions that they're taking, and time is not on the side of the United States. If Joe Biden continues to be the disaster that he is, he has a lot of time left in office. I mean, what could happen in the next 2.5 years?
Well, I actually, so that's a great question. I would look at a couple of different places. And actually, none of them are actually in Asia. One is I would look back to Western Europe. Putin has a handful of different places where he can create trouble if he wants to. These are buttons he could push, right? It's not just situations similar to Ukraine. So Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, the Balkans, those are all areas which, if the Russians want, they can create mayhem. So I'd watch those, because even with a diminished military, Putin can still make trouble. So those are one. The second is the Middle East, where this administration's been horrific. They've annoyed out friends and allies. They have no plan for dealing with Iran. They're watching problems metastasize and literally sitting on their hands. So I expect something to blow up in the Middle East. And the third is Latin America, where the Chinese, essentially having now been rebuffed in Central Europe, and we have the Quad in Asia, India, the U.S., Japan, Australia. It's a pretty formidable obstacle to the expansion of Chinese power and influence. But in Latin America, we have an administration which is actively working against our own interests. It's destabilizing the region with illegal immigration and going after friendly countries, and we're paying no attention to. This is an open space for the Chinese to Russia, and in which they are every day, and make more trouble for us. So those, I think, are the three flashpoint areas that are pretty crucial that we're not paying attention to.
Jim, I'm thinking about this consternation taking place overseas, and in a historical context for people like me who have not experienced some of these major conflicts that have happened in the past 40, 50, 60, 70 years. It's frightening because I'm applying what I have read about in the history books to what I'm hearing now. But at the same time, our southern border is under siege, and we found out just this week that a terrorist that was released into the country. Took us weeks to relocate him. I mean, I would ask you, is the southern border a bigger threat to the United States sovereignty and safety than what's taking place overseas?
I think they're all connected. I mean, I think they're all part of the same thing. And it's ridiculous that we leave the border unsecured. It's literally like there's a burglar in the neighborhood and we leave our back door open. I mean, you have the Chinese, the Russians, transnational terrorists meddling in our own backyard, and we are completely oblivious to what's coming across the southern border. So, I mean, we've had a couple of stories in recent days. We had this one just today where we had got a terrorist watch list that we didn't even know, and it took them weeks to track us down and get permission to arrest them. We had a story which came out through a Freedom of Information Act that over 40 people on the terrorist watch list were allowed to enter the United States through the southern border illegally. And then we just had another story breaking today that in 2020 we had a foreign agent come in and apply for refugee status, who then was planning on bringing other operatives through the southern border to do an assassination plot against the former president.
Yeah.
Now, that last one is most concerning because, eventually the FBI tracked this guy down and arrested him. But what Biden has done is there's like 800,000 refugee claims right now. We have let so many people in illegally that the hunting down of these, needle in a haystack, these terrorist threats are almost impossible. So there's so much hay, you can't find the needles anymore. So what the FBI did in 2020 to track down and foil a terrorist, today they could not do that because they are so overwhelmed that they wouldn't have the capacity to do it, and because this administration's policies would actually make it harder for them to do that. So when this unsecure border is absolutely, in addition to being an incredible fiscal threat, public safety threat, drug threat, public health threat, it is a massive national security threat. And I've been doing your show for years, and that years ago when we did this, people would say, "Oh, what about terrorists coming across the southern border?" And I basically said, "Well, look, terrorists like predictability, so they're not going to come across the southern border because they don't know what's going to happen. They're going to come in through a legal point of entry because even though there's security up there, they know what they're facing and they can think about how to defeat that." We are in a totally different ballgame today because the southern border is so unsecure. The most dependable way to get an agent into the United States to kill people is to come across the southern border. And what's tragic is it's not just a border problem, because the president's turned the Department of Homeland Security into the world's largest human trafficking network. He has taken all the resources and he has them moving illegal aliens in the United States. So, I think this is an accurate statement. If you take the total resources of the FBI and Homeland Security that we have today, we do not have the dedicated capacity to practice counterterrorism that we had after 9/11. Wow. We are worse off. I would say we are worse off today to combat a transnational terrorist threat than we were on the day of the worst terrorist attack in American history, September 11, 2001. We are worse prepared today than we were on September 10th, 2001.
What a disaster. I mean, just an utter disaster, and it's right there in front of our own eyes, and this administration refuses to address it. It's jaw-droppingly unbelievable. Jim, we appreciate you. Go ahead.
Yep, you bet. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you for more encouraging conversations. I mean, it's the truth. And if we're not going to talk about it, if we're not going to identify what is taking place, again, on our southern border, that you have a nuclear capable bomber flying over the area where President Biden is, and it's a Russia-China joint venture, that's a pretty frightening thought. Meanwhile, on our southern border, we are completely absent in protecting our own country. It's just it's egregiously unbelievable, and I would say it's treasonous. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Matt Hausman. He is a candidate for the 13th Congressional District of Illinois. It is an open seat. The current representative, Rodney Davis, who is my representative, and whoever wins this will become my representative. He got redistricted out of the 13th. So now we have people who want to take that place and represent the Republicans. Matt Hausman is a candidate for this office, and we will speak to him when we come back. Don't go away.
One kid dreams of fame and fortune.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. This Wednesday, the Mark Cox Morning Show 97.1 Senate Speaker Series continues with Missouri U.S. Senate candidate Billy Long. Join us at 18 North Central in O'Fallon, Missouri, where you can meet with Billy Long and Mark Cox and ask questions this Wednesday.
So when I talk to you about Dr. Jody and Hensher Johnson orthodontics, it's really important that you understand Dr. Jody herself, because once you get to know her, you're going to understand why the rest of the practice is the way it is. She is a perfectionist. She takes her job incredibly seriously, making sure she gives you the most top of the line, the best experience when it comes to orthodontic care. But she does this through building relationships. If you are going in and you're nervous about it, if you're an adult and you've always dreamed of having a straighter smile or a healthier orthodontic situation, Dr. Jody is going to ease your nerves and put you down the path to achieving that with which you've wanted for so long. If you're taking kiddos, grandkids or such, into their office to get their orthodontic care taken care of, she's so fantastic at making sure that she builds that relationship that makes it a positive experience, and her staff follows her lead. Dr. Jody is an incredible success in orthodontic care, and Hensher Johnson Orthodontics is waiting for your phone call. We're grateful that they are sponsors of this show, and I hope that you consider them for your orthodontic care in the future. 618-400-0900, 618-400-0900, online at HensherJohnsonOrtho.com.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through A Wealth Management, LLC.
There's a big red barn where you say green. Norm's Bargain Barn. Discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Shooting for the stars, but I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision. Always had hopes. Hopes for a living. Didn't know how, but I always had a feeling. I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had hope. Mama said.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. A couple great interviews so far here on the show. I would highly encourage you get that Odyssey app and rewind the show, which you can do up to 24 hours prior to the whatever moment in time it is. Hans von Spakovsky on the Sussman Trial, really interesting conversation with him that we had at 12:25. And starting at 1:05, Jim Carafano just on with us talking about the Taiwan situation, the president, the administration, China, Russia, and then bringing it back home to the southern border. I'm probably going to go back and listen to those myself because there's just so much information in them. That's on the Odyssey app. You'll find 97.1 FM Talk. Hit the rewind to 12:25 or 1:05, and you are there. I want to get to our next guest now. I'm excited to bring on to the show Matt Hausman. He's a candidate for the 13th Congressional District of Illinois. HausmanForCongress.com is the website. Matt, running for Congress. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hi, Annie. Thank you so much for having me on. A pleasure for me to be here, too.
Of course. Now, the Illinois 13th is very important to me because it is the district that I sit in currently. And with Rodney Davis getting redistricted out of it, it is an open seat, and it is one that is drawn up for Democrats to win. Why did you decide to get in this race in the first place? And do you think you have a shot at retaining the red control of Illinois 13?
So, yeah, as you said, it was drawn to favor the Democrats. I believe it went for Biden by 11 points. Initial analysis had it at about Democrats plus 10. But with the current potential red wave, latest analysis is showing it about Democrats plus 4. So it is definitely a winnable race. And the reason I got into it was actually encouragement from one of the local state senators over in my part of the district. I'm over in Champaign area, so the far east part of the district. And he said that I've been working in organizations trying to bring people together. I'm not a very hyper-partisan person. I am someone who can reach across the aisle. And he said that kind of approach is the kind of approach that can bring in those independents and even some of those soft Democrats who are not happy with Biden, and bring them over and get them to vote red in this coming election. So that encouragement got me thinking about it, and is why I decided to throw my hat in the ring.
Matt Hausman joining us right now. HausmanForCongress.com, running for Illinois' 13th Congressional District to represent the Republicans in that general election, needs to win the primary first. What are some of those issues that you feel like you have the capacity to bring people together and expand the Republican Party and reach across the aisle?
So the two, or actually three big ones, but a lot of them are interconnected, is crime, the economy, and education. Those are ones that no matter what your beliefs, Republican or Democrat, you want to live in a safe neighborhood. You want good schools, and you want a strong economy. So working on those kinds of issues, those kitchen table issues, those are the ones where we can bring the soft Democrats over and get them to vote red.
Matt Hausman speaking with us right now. I'm curious about your assessment of this district. If people were to look at it on a map, it's like a little snake that comes from down here in the Metro East where we are, and it snakes all the way through all of the college towns up to Champaign where you are. It's a very goofy looking district. What do Southern Illinoisans, specifically those in the new Illinois 13th, what are they looking for in Congress with their representative this coming election?
So that's actually a great point, that the way it was drawn, it's unfortunate because being over here in the Champaign on the other part of the district, I'm on the family farm right now, actually, very much agricultural based. And so a lot of concerns very similar here, where over in the Metro East area where you have a lot more industrial concerns. So that's one of the things I've been trying to get over there as much as possible, to talk to the constituents in that part of the 13th and get their input, because we need those compact, contiguous districts. But unfortunately, we got gerrymandered. So we've got to be able to balance those different interests and those different issues. And I'm somebody who puts a lot of emphasis on listening and trying to understand what different voters are concerned with, so that I can take that in and bring that to Washington.
Matt, what do you bring to the table, maybe that is the same as some of the candidates that are running in the 13th, but also the things that distinguish you as somebody who would be a positive choice in the Republican primary for the Illinois 13th congressional district?
The great thing is all four of us who are running are being very positive and getting along really well. And when you look at policy issues about peace through strength, cutting down on taxes and regulation, and those kinds of issues, having a strong border, those things we all agree on. And it's mostly just differences in experiences and temperament. As I said, I'm somebody who has built a reputation of being able to reach across the aisle, working with, I serve on our Champaign County Mental Health Board, and I had to work with a lot of Democrats doing that. And I'm running a completely positive campaign. I am not attacking the Democrats. There's the old saying about don't interfere when your opponent is committing suicide. And I think Biden's policies are speaking for themselves, so we don't really have to attack it anymore. But just run a positive campaign, and I think that will bring people over. And I think that so many voters, especially those independent voters, are sick of the vitriol. That I've been told it's just refreshing to hear somebody who's trying to focus on positive.
HausmanForCongress.com is the website. Matt Hausman is the candidate in the Illinois Congressional 13th District, the Republican primary to be held June 28th. Part of the key role of Congress taking their seat in 2023 will be a massive check on this Biden administration, with a Democrat control in the House, a Democrat control in the Senate, and obviously President Biden with the pen in hand to sign the bills that they can successfully pass. The Republican majority in the House is going to have a lot of responsibility to provide that check on the Biden administration's power and ability to get through their agenda. There's also going to be a lot of oversight that I have been told from many people who are in Congress right now that is going to be the goal of a Republican-controlled Congress. Tell me about your role in Congress representing the 13th, on what you would like to have oversight on, investigate, learn more of regarding this administration, or anything else that might entail.
So from my standpoint, where I'm going to be looking a lot on is the regulations, and really trying to cut those regulations and put oversight on that. You look at things like the current baby formula shortage that we had, and why didn't they see that coming when you had the factory shut down in February? So that they should have seen that coming months ahead. And so what's going on, and asking those types of questions, because if we're going to have those regulations, you have to have, they need to be as smooth as possible. And we need to make sure that we are partnering and ensuring the supply chain.
Matt Hausman with me right now. I want to ask you about, that's on the federal level, but on the Illinois, you're Illinois resident, obviously. It's been a very difficult time for Illinois residents, taxpayers in the last 2 years under the reign of J.B. Pritzker, his eagerness to control how people live their lives, the mandates that he puts out, the abuse of power that he has engaged in that has been checked in the courts. And I'm curious about your thoughts on the future of Illinois. Is Illinois in a position to improve just being a place to live for taxpayers and voters?
Well, this is the other thing where I have an interesting experience. Is I actually spent 10 years in California. So I kind of, if you want, seen the dystopian future in a way, that where the Republican Party kind of got away from those kitchen table issues and became more and more sidelined and became the super minority in California. And you can see what's going there, where you have the mass exodus out of California. And so that's why Republicans in Illinois, we need to make sure we are focusing on the issues that matter the most to the kitchen table voters, and reach across the aisle, show that we have better ideas than the Democrats. Because otherwise, if we continue to go down this current path we're on, we're going to look a lot like California.
Yeah, it does seem like I would think, too, just even in the news coverage, we hear so much about New York City and what takes place there. We hear about California. Illinois, in many cases, can be worse off than some of these coastal cities. How do you intend to, in Congress, bring that attention to the state of Illinois to help them get a little bit more of their freedom back? You talked about regulations. There's just so much government in the state of Illinois that's looking to control the lives of the voters that are there. I would hope that some representation in Congress might provide a good, strong representation for freedom to exist once again in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, it's all about, it should be a pyramid structure that the most government that any particular person should deal with should be at the local level. That's where you should have the most control. That's where the voters should have the most control and the most input, and that should be where most of the interaction happens. And then it should get smaller as you get to the state level, and then at the federal level, it should be as small as possible. And we need to get back to that idea of the federal system that our founders created.
Well, Matt Hausman, thank you for being on the Annie Frey Show with us here. You were running for the 13th Congressional District in Illinois in the Republican primary, June 28th. And if people want to learn more about you, HausmanForCongress.com. Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
You too, Annie. And I'll be in the Metro East area this Thursday at the St. Clair County GOP headquarters, and next Tuesday at Joe's Pizza in Edwardsville.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. People can connect with you there. I'm sure that information is available at HausmanForCongress.com. Awesome to talk with Matt there. We'll put that interview up and shareable for folks. So if you would like to share it with somebody, if you liked what you heard there, please do that. Again, I encourage you to listen to all of these candidates and to be very self-educated on who is doing what and to vote your conscience. You got to show up to vote. Early voting is open in Illinois. I know for Missouri folks, they're going to be like, what? Yeah, you can go vote right now. The primary is June 28th, but as I said, you can walk in and vote at this time. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, more Annie Frey Show around the corner. A reminder about that YouTube live chat poll. If Trump's Georgia's endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? You think Trump is going to pull through in Georgia? Or I think a lot of people are thinking some of his endorsements are not going to see the success in this state primary that he has seen in others. Will it matter for Trump's coattails in the future? Your vote on that poll on the YouTube live chat and your comments there. We'll share those in the 2:45 hour when Hannah comes in here to give us those details. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Top Gun Maverick, there was a lady in front of us who started audibly crying. My wife looks at me and goes, is she crying? I'm like, I think she is. I think she's bawling her eyes out.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HAPPY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HAPPY for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code HAPPY.
Create your ideal backyard this summer with 11% off at Menards. Now is a great time to start building your outdoor projects with the Midwest's largest selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber. It offers the natural look of wood with added protection for your outdoor projects. All AC2 pressure-treated decking and lumber is 11% off right now at Menards. Good through May 30th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Gentlemen, spring is here. Recapture your vitality with Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. They're going to make it easy for you because they get rid of the excuses. They've got a brand new location that brings them to 3 locations close to you, one in Wing Haven and O'Fallon, Missouri, the other one in Town and Country there near Clayton and 141, and the original location off Greenmount Road in O'Fallon, Illinois. Book your appointment today. Go online to victorymenshealth.com.
Red Brick Roofing, wherever you live, from Chesterfield to Crestwood, Frontenac to Ferguson, Mimi to Ladue, Town and Country and more. Warson Woods to Winsville, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are 2 substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call Attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Home values are through the roof, with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of. Travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
It's time we demand more for mental health. Join the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Odyssey's I'm Listening and demand #more for mental health. Get involved. Save lives. Visit moreformentalhealth.org today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Passenger side, I slide on in, vinyl seats off from the heat of the sun. Chewing on a Slim Jim, can't stop thinking about him. Yeah, 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 he's the one. Yeah, 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 he's the one.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Pretty busy show we've had so far. Hans von Spakovsky at 12:25 and Jim Carafano at 1:05, talking respectively about the Sussman Trial, the Hillary Clinton bombshell from last weekend, Durham Probe, of course. And then at 1:05, Jim Carafano talking to us about Taiwan and President Biden's comments and China and Russia flying a nuclear capable bomber over where he is in East Asia. There's a lot going on. Oh, yeah. And the southern border, also a disaster. Does the border or what's going on in Asia, either one of those affect you more?
Like
make you more
concerned?
concerned?
I feel like the stuff going on in Asia concerns me more, but I think that's more because I've been desensitized to what's going on in the border. You know, this is going to hit real big if Carafano is right and a terrorist comes in and makes a big terrorist attack in the United States through the southern border. That's going to hit real hard if that happens. And we're basically got the back door open.
You've got to ask yourself what level of gravity, what's it going to take to change the focus and the attention of the Biden administration on the southern border? It's obvious. You can't fudge the numbers. Even if you fudge the numbers about what's taking place in the southern border, I mean, it's happening. They're clearly okay with it because there's a whole host of things that could be done immediately to stop the bleeding. We're encouraging the bleeding. The patient is on the table and is bleeding out, and the Biden administration comes in and suggests bloodletting to fix the problem. And we're all sitting here looking at each other like, is this, that's going to exacerbate the problem and make it incredibly worse, right? And then they just leave the room. There's not even it makes no sense. And if you feel like me, you're looking around going, why aren't you solving this problem? And I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you find yourself looking around and asking yourself, why in the world aren't they solving the problem? You have to assess the problem. And you have to understand that the people who aren't reacting to it in a way that seems so obvious to you, you have to ask yourself if they identify the same problem as you do, because they're not going to solve a problem that they don't see as a problem. And our greatest fear is that they don't identify what's taking place in the southern border as a problem. I understand. Before I was on the air middays here on 97.1, I was the digital brand manager for 97.1, and I worked just hand in hand with the programming staff. I worked with the shows that have been on the station since early 2009 is when I first came to 97.1, and so I understand the creation and the maintenance of the digital brand of an entity. And I also know how digital, especially over the course of the 10 years that I was doing this, starting in 2009, the idea of digital advertising is incredibly different than it is right now. We have so much more information at our fingertips and so much more, even through advertising with us here on the Annie Frey Show, we can help you with your digital advertising in a way that reaches people where you want to reach them about the things you want to reach them about. That is the world we live in. I understand that the reason why things are why content is created the way it's created by people who know what they're doing, how it's presented. I understand why people do that, because it generates interaction and traffic, and interaction and traffic generates advertising opportunities, and advertising opportunities do what? Generates money. It's very ironic that while I'm doing this just changed. Up until the last 5 seconds, when I load Fox News, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial has been the top story on Fox News' website. And what that tells me, why I'm explaining to you, giving you my resume of being with 97.1, is that clearly on their website, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, regardless of how you and I feel about it, and I'm absolutely guilty of this myself, I don't care about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and what happens in this trial, but it is strangely kind of a guilty pleasure, interesting thing from time to time if I have read through the rest of the news and I just want to see what crazy thing happens next in it. It's not consequential. It's not news to me. It's entertainment to me. Does that make sense? So if you go to Fox News and you see that that's at the top of the page, it just strikes me as so weird, because to me, that's not the most important thing that America needs to be exposed to at this time. It just changed to ISIS assassination plot with a picture of George W. Bush on there, because as we just heard with Jim Carafano at 105, which you can rewind to and hear, you need to listen to this interview if you didn't on the Odyssey app. Go to 105 when we start talking to Jim Carafano. He mentions this. That the headline is suspect affiliated with terror group arrested in Ohio for alleged role in plan to kill former President Bush. The security that we have in this country, how's it going? How's it doing? America is captivated by Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And the things that Americans aren't paying attention to right now are getting more serious. It is becoming more dangerous to be uninformed now than it has ever been. If you are infatuated with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know some of you are listening are like, absolutely, there's something wrong with that. It's trash. They're celebrities. Nobody cares. That's not true. Lots of people care, because people like to be entertained, and people have the right to choose what kind of entertainment they engage in. And that might mean that you watch The Bachelor. I've never watched The Bachelor before. I have no interest in watching The Bachelor, but I used to love to watch The Biggest Loser. Did you ever watch that?
No.
I love The Biggest Loser. And I remember watching it going, there's no way that what they're doing is replicatable,
right,
or likely healthy.
Yeah,
but they would have people engage in amazing transformations, over a doctor's watch. But I've read the articles afterwards. But I found that to be incredibly interesting. I would DVR it. I would watch it. I would pay attention to it. I would get to know these people. American Idol, not in the first. I don't know which was the first season that I watched. There were probably 4 seasons where I was really in tune with American Idol, and I just really enjoyed it. It was entertainment. There's nothing wrong with being entertained. Sports is that way for some people, and other people are like, I can't believe that you're wasting your time watching a 2.5-hour baseball game. I get it, but we all have our choices. When I look on Fox News and I see Heard, Depp, on the surface, at first, it frustrates me, but then I understand that Fox News is doing something. They're making a business decision there. And because I understand that, it equally annoys me, and I also understand it. But what's at stake? Not to be over-exaggerated, but what's at stake in this coming election? It's so paramount that people vote from an informed place. 168 days until the general election, less to your Missouri primary, which is August 2nd, less to the Illinois primary, which is June 28th, with early voting open now. I am worried about the current administration. Can I sit here and make fun of them? There's plenty of fodder for that, but I don't think that's helpful and productive. We need to inform people. We need to expose people to what's really going on. We're going to try to do that here on this show, but there's a lot going on out there. Stick around. Wiggins and Hannah in the studio next hour.
Just how low will a politician go to get elected? Ask Darren Bailey. Bailey's letting J.B. Pritzker finance his campaign. Over $5 million from the Democrats meddling in our primary, trying to buy the Republican nomination for Bailey. Pritzker finally admitted it.
There's a new ad from the Democratic Governors Association to help Bailey in the primary. You're behind this ad.
Yeah, I support that ad. It elevates attention to all of the good. I'm simply trying to tell everybody who Darren Bailey is.
And Bailey's downright giddy about it.
You're glad to see those ads from the Democratic Governors Association?
Oh, yeah, I do. And that's beautiful.
So craven, Darren Bailey sold out at the drop of a dime for Democrat money. Easy to buy, easy to beat. Pritzker knows Bailey's too weak to win in November. And he shouldn't, because he's just like Pritzker. Darren Bailey raised our property taxes 13 times, 81% higher. Pritzker's favorite tax-raising Republican. We can never trust him again. Paid for by Irvin for Illinois.
The mountains came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed and we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the bed. That's what my friend said, call Cherry Kelly, man, CherryKelly.com. Give him a call even though it's late, CherryKelly.com.
Cause Jerry Kelly's always open up until 8. The certified technicians, I've been told, will help you when it's hot and help you when it's cold. JerryKelly.com. The fast and the good and the got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, short my blues.
NMLS 114937.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional. Lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
An ISIS plot to kill a former president. Elisa Brady, Fox News. A suspect due in federal court in Columbus, Ohio, in connection with the suspected plot to assassinate former President George W. Bush. This from a search warrant application first reported by Forbes.
Fox News has also confirmed the suspect's name is Shahab Ahmed Shihab.
Fox's Jillian Turner. The FBI says the suspect, an Iraqi national, has been in the U.S. since 2020 with an asylum application pending and was planning to bring others into the country.
Now, it is believed that he traveled to Dallas last November for a surveillance mission where he shot video of the president's home and the surrounding neighborhood. This is according to an FBI search warrant application that was filed on March 23rd. Shahab also recruited an entire team to join him in this murder plot. He was planning to smuggle people here into the U.S. across the border with Mexico.
The FBI working with 2 confidential informants who had multiple conversations with the suspect in Ohio. The suspected motive? Revenge for the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. Bush's chief of staff says the former president has all the confidence in the world in the U.S. Secret Service and our law enforcement and intelligence communities. A suspected school shooter now in custody in Uvalde, Texas, west of San Antonio. No word yet on who it is or reports of any injuries at Robb Elementary School where students had been evacuated. The Uvalde mayor tells Fox News a shooting happened a block away from the school. Then the shooter ran into the school. Also getting reports the suspect in a deadly New York City subway shooting is in custody as the victim's family appeals for a tougher stance on repeat offenders.
They keep committing crimes and they keep returning to the same neighborhood. And they're violent and they're aggressive.
Griselda Viles' brother was killed Sunday in what police have called an unprovoked shooting. America is listening to Fox News.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes and delays will leave you scrambling. Graduate to NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. No matter how big your business grows, with NetSuite, you gain visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, just like 93% of surveyed businesses who already graduated. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program. Head to netsuite.com/today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/try.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about a mix of clouds and sunshine as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. Maybe a spot shower or a thunder shower, but tough to find. 75 for the high. Tonight, increasing showers and thunderstorms, non-severe. 65, kind of warm. Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms. A couple could be strong, but nothing widespread. 75 to 80 for the high on Wednesday. Still unsettled on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Discussion happens here.
This is the difference, I think, between what a lot of the radical left will do and what conservatives are doing. Conservatives will rightfully hold a company's feet to the fire if they're doing something that's inappropriate.
On everything happening in the United States now.
What the radical left will do, they'll say, unless you do what we want you to do, we're going to get you fired from a place that you already are.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
This is not to force change, it's to force compliance.
97.1 FM Talk.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Did you know there are financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from any losses? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from market losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
At 420ID.com, we make it easy to get your Missouri medical marijuana card. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in, so why wait? 420ID is the only company that provides you with a real plastic ID card and have served over 19,000 happy Missouri patients. Open late every day until 9 p.m. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420ID.com. Today is the day to sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card at 420ID.com. Use promo code RADIO and save $30 today. That's 420ID.com.
Home values are through the roof with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of. Travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
It's time to demand #more for mental health. We need improved access to support, services, and understanding. Get involved by encouraging more openness and advocating for the legislation and policies that we know through research save lives. Join us at moreformentalhealth.org.
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Odyssey app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We had a whole thing planned, but Ryan had other plans. Ryan, take it away.
I went ahead and brought in all of the surprise things ahead of the surprise.
Brad, you said you ruined the good surprise?
Yeah.
What is that from?
Big Daddy. We wasted the good surprise on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's true. That's exactly what happened.
Well, she still saw the surprise.
She's still surprised.
I'm still very surprised. Thank you. I was eating my strawberries, and as I had one in my mouth, I looked over and I see Ryan staring at me with this at my desk.
When he walked in the studio, did you hear me say, "What the hell are you doing?"
No, I didn't.
Yeah. I thought, I'm being a good soldier. I remembered to bring it in, and then I brought it in too early.
That was like 25% of the responsibility that you had.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody,
That's so on brand for him,
we
though.
haven't said what we're celebrating. Go ahead,
Graduation.
Ryan.
Yay for Hannah graduating.
Hannah's got
Thank
her
you.
associate's degree.
Yes, in mass communications.
Tell us about what you've been studying and, the culmination this weekend of graduation. Just tell us about it.
So I went to St. Louis Community College for my 2 years to get my associates in mass communications. I've taken just about every communications class possible. I loved it. I also took a lot of meteorology classes, loved those as well. Have an interest in that.
Do you want to be a weather person?
Maybe one day. I don't know. I love what I'm doing right now, so I'm
Do you
not
know one
thinking
time
about it.
Ryan Wiggins did a weather report for this show, and he went out and stood out there in basically a blizzard and told us it was snowing? What did you take with you? Some milk?
I can't remember.
No, I think there was literally milk.
Was it? I don't remember why it would have been milk, though.
It was part of a series that we did with Ryan called Captain Obvious.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there were
I thought you were
3
going
or
to say,
4
did
of
you
them.
know Ryan has experience in TV? And I was going to say, yes, I know.
Did he pay you to say that right now? So you have your degree. What are you going to do next?
This.
Good answer.
This is what I'm going to do.
How many people, I don't know if you know the number, but how many people just graduated doing what you're doing? Like classmates that you have that are in the communications, want to be in the communications field?
I'm not really sure about that, but what I do know is that graduation on Saturday was a combination of the past 3 years because they haven't held an in-person
really?
graduation. So
you could come back and walk?
Yeah, I walked in and I was like, whoa. I think there was like maybe 800. I don't even know.
Mhm.
Like it was crazy. So I thought it was going to take forever, but they fired off the names and it didn't take that long, and it was really cool.
If you want to join us on the Annie Frey live stream, we are on YouTube pretty much all the time. Facebook, we have to restart a billion times because they don't like that we play the music, but they can just deal with it. But come onto the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You can vote in the poll that's up there, but you can also tell Hannah, congratulations. Here's Captain Obvious we did. This was not the weather one. This was about Brexit.
This just in from Captain Obvious.
Thanks, Annie. I'm live here outside the British Parliament building. You can tell because of all the British people walking by saying British things.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat
I just spoke with an assistant to Theresa May, who's the prime minister here, which I'm told is a lot like our American presidency, but different. Anyway, May, after not getting her version of Brexit passed and almost losing her seat as prime minister, has decided to take a different approach.
Like a rebranding of sorts? What's she thinking in place of Brexit?
The main one she seems to be slipping into interview answers and seeing if anyone notices are common weaving, which is a combination of the words Commonwealth and leaving, and depucart, which is a combination of UK and depart. Neither one has so far taken hold, so I'm told May is keeping a couple of others in her quiver as well, including Great Brisket and I'm out of here. Back to you, Annie.
Did you have a voice change between them
Man,
and now?
no kidding. That's what I was thinking too. I sounded like I was asleep.
That audio sounds like the one when you guys tried to do a live broadcast of the Cardinals like home opener. What? That's what it sounded like.
Totally.
I must have been doing that out actually on location. Probably not really at British Parliament, but somewhere on my phone.
It's probably at a McDonald's with an Egg McMuffin or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I did a few of those out there. Before I was on the show, there were a lot of on-the-ground reporting from somewhere at random. It didn't make any sense. Are you looking for more? Kind of. I remember we did the one outside in the snow, and then there was one where it was just really windy. You did a snow angel out there. You remember that one? I remember I was driving Uber at the time. This is just my own memory of it. And I stopped in some random neighborhood and recorded a whole thing for you. But I don't remember exactly what the topic was.
Somebody in the car.
You were working here. You weren't just like an Uber driver.
Well, yeah, I was part-time. But I wasn't like on the show yet, I don't think.
And imagine, just follow that lead, Hannah, and you too could potentially be full-time.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo. That's what I have to do to get full-time. Okay.
Yeah. You got to go pretend you're overseas.
I'm curious so what's your degree, Ryan?
Journalism.
Yours?
Religious education.
Religious education. Is yours an associate's?
Mine's a bachelor.
Yours is a bachelor. Yours is a bachelor.
Mhm.
You got your associates in mass communications.
Mhm.
I have a bachelor's of science in mass communications, TV, radio as well. Really, none of us need to have that to do what we're doing right now. Do you think?
Not really. No. I mean, if you specifically were trying to get this job, you would get a radio TV degree.
But isn't it more I mean, Hannah completed her degree and you have the education to help you do the things that we're doing here. Like, you know that stuff already.
Yeah.
Yes. But how much have you learned on the job?
Way more than I learned. Like, it's hard because I had prior education of radio because I worked on my FM station in high school and then I had another radio job. So I knew how radio worked, but communication-wise, I learned a ton in school. But I've also learned a lot from just being here since October. I've learned just about as much as I feel like I learned in school.
I think it's interesting because all of our paths to where we are right now are incredibly different. And the thing that the education is supposed to provide you, in my opinion, is the well-rounded approach to being a good employee so that you have an experience and a wealth of knowledge to draw upon in different areas and facets. You become a more well-rounded, educated individual. But regardless of whether you have a college degree or not, so much of life is about being willing to do the work and showing up. And if you don't love your hours, you might have to work crap hours for a while. If you don't love your pay, you can go out on the street and protest about it, but maybe just do something to make yourself more valuable as an employee or go work somewhere else. If you don't love the way your company that you're working for represents itself and you feel like your connection to that company is not a great representation of who you are, go work somewhere else. We have a society right now that people, I think, that are in Hannah's position are being told they're entitled to so much. And life doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
too.
there's a whole, it's like all of culture tells kids, and not just in your generation, but I think even leaking into ours, that you are the center of the universe. You're going to achieve your dreams. You just have to believe. You know, there's this thing that no matter what you do, you're going to achieve your dreams. That is false. You are not always going to achieve your dreams.
You are going to fail a lot.
And you have to work very hard to get to where you want to be. And all of that is glossed over, I think, in the messaging to the generation that's coming up.
I feel like we spend too much time telling our kids they're amazing and not showing them how to be amazing. You know, we just do the affirmation part, but we don't show them the work that you have to do to be what it is that they could be. It's not saying you can't be this, but we're saying you're going to be this, but we're not telling them you got to do all of these other things to get to that.
I think there's this idea behind people graduating college. And I am very, very, very lucky for this job. I think I got a 1 in a million chance here. I love what I do and I'm so blessed. But when I'm looking at other people who are graduating, they think like out the gate, they're going to make like $100,000 and have this great position just handed to them on a silver platter. And like, you're going to have to work and you're going to have to probably be an intern and, you're not going to get full time right away. And there's just this idea. I don't know where that came from. Like, I don't think your guys' generation.
No, it's very intentional. I mean, what we talk about on a regular basis with news and politics is there is an active effort that is teaching people, young people who are like you or even younger than you are, Hannah, that the world owes them something. And the solution is a government that shows up to provide it. That's all very, very intentional. You said, Brian, that, that you're going to I don't remember how you said it specifically, but you're not always going to achieve your dreams. That is so true. And I will say false, but because of a caveat, you're very rarely going to achieve the dreams you have when you're 18 or 19. You don't realize how much the dreams that you think that you have are not the dreams you really want. And when you get out into the real world, your dreams, your hopes and your aspirations start to become, I'm not going to say more realistic, but probably more responsible. And there's a drastic shift like you're going to have in the next 10 years of your life. What the person who you are right now is going to evolve in so many ways. You're going to be so much better for it. And you can't even imagine what at 30, Hannah, you're going to have achieved in a way that you never even knew you wanted to achieve those things. Like you're going to arrive at a place where you're like, I'm living my dream. And you don't even know that exists right now. And if you said meteorology, you might be interested in weather. I wanted to be a sports reporter. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the person, like the Bally Sports person who was in the stands and giving you an injury update and stuff like that, or on a football sideline, talking about what the coach said about the offensive performance and so on and so forth. That's what I wanted to do. I could have maybe done that. I might have been able to achieve that, but I didn't realize because I was an idiot at the time that I was just ignorant to it. That lifestyle, it does not fit the lifestyle of having 4 kids and marriage where I see my husband every day and get to live in the Midwest and love where I live and be where I live. It did not fit that. And it took me, I'm not like a stupid person, but it took me way longer than it should have to go, I don't know that I really want that lifestyle. And did I achieve my dream of being a sideline sports reporter? I didn't, but I never even dreamt that I'd be doing this. And I am now 16 years into my career with radio. I've been working in radio for 16 years. I am so excited for you to have this opportunity. And I don't mean specifically with my show, but just to be in the business, because the connections, you said you're lucky. I always say, no luck, you're blessed. You've been put in a position here with us to have opportunity. What happens next? It's up to you. And it's up to some more things that'll come your way, bumps in the road that are going to make you go, well, this sucks. This is not what I intended. But that's because the path that is laid out for you that you don't even know exists yet, it is going to be an amazing path. And your accomplishments in 10 years from now, you won't believe how you got there. And you'll be able to look back and say, wow, there was something in play this entire time that put me in the position to succeed in the way that I've succeeded, in the place that I've arrived right here. And my experience is that it's always against my better judgment. Like all of the things, all the best laid plans that I have for myself, things go incredibly wrong according to my plans, but letting go is, and just saying, okay, like this is a God thing for me, letting go and just allowing that path to be laid for you and being willing to walk it is the best advice that I can possibly give you that you're not asking me to give you.
No, I love to hear it though. Yes. Already, how you were saying how you don't realize your dreams or, what they end up to be, whatever. I already think that's true because when I got this job, the position that I was hired on to be is so different than what I've been doing. But I'm glad. Like I signed up to work here and I thought I was going to be a board op on KMOX. And that was great. And I did that for a while, but then I, met more people and shook hands and met you, and I'm here now. And I never thought this would be like my passion, but it is. And I didn't even think of it. And it just is here now. And I can't wait to go to more events and meet more people and learn more and talk more and everything.
Well, and I'm going to add to that too, that for this show specifically, I know, because you've told me this before, I'm kind of reflecting on what you've said to me before about being really grateful for this opportunity and the way the whole show and our listeners have embraced you. But I cannot stress enough to you how you were God gave me the exact right person at the exact right time.
That means so much. Thank you.
And I'm so happy that you're here.
I don't even have words. I'm blessed to be here, blessed with everybody in this room, blessed with this opportunity. I'm going to cry, so I'm going to stop talking.
Even Wiggins?
Even Wiggins.
Congrats on graduating. That's
it is really awesome. Boop. Yep. Boop. When you don't have anything to say, just boop. Somebody said that what was the phrase here?
Somebody boop the graduate.
Somebody needs to boop the graduate. And if you don't know, if you're not like familiar with the show on a regular basis, this probably sounds really weird. Anyway. All right, let's take a quick break. Congratulations to Hannah. Please, she's the one who monitors all the comments on the live chat every day. So she is watching them. It's the Annie Frey YouTube channel, the most consistent place, at least, that you can stream our show. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter each and every day. And you can go say hello to Hannah. Congrats. And you can also vote in that YouTube live chat poll. If Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? We'd love to hear what you think. And Hannah will be back in 2:45 to give us the results of that poll. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
Another joint on the radio.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You don't know how it feels to be me.
This Wednesday, the Mark Cox Morning Show 97.1 Senate Speaker Series continues with Missouri U.S. Senate candidate Billy Long. Join us at 18 North Central in O'Fallon, Missouri, where you can meet with Billy Long and Mark Cox and ask questions this Wednesday.
Jen Teskey of Remax Alliance, a friend of mine, because she is just hopping and a bopping all around the Metro East area. She is the go-to when you were looking to sell your home for top dollar and quickly. If you are thinking about selling your home in the future and you're not 100% sure if you want to hit the market now, is it better to wait? How do I need to prepare my house to get that top dollar and sell fast? What's the timeline? I just got a bunch of questions and you don't have a solid timeline mapped out yet. Reach out to Jen Teskey. She is going to be able to walk you through the whole process so that you're comfortable and confident in the plan. She is the best on the Illinois side of the river in making sure that this is a process that is smooth, is reliable, and where you are going to be prepared for this big moment in your life. Reach out to my friend Jen Teskey with Remax Alliance. You can call her, or you can text her, and let her know you heard about her on the Annie Frey Show at 618-541-1010. That's her personal cell phone number, 618-541-1010.
Hey everyone, I'm Ron Darling.
And I'm Jimmy Rollins.
The official baseball rulebook is full of all sorts of strange rules.
But the unwritten rulebook is even weirder.
We each come from different eras, and we each were taught to play the game in different ways.
In this new podcast series, we're going to break down all of the unwritten rules that govern the game, from throwing out a batter to stealing bases during a blowout.
Check out Unwritten from Odyssey and MLB. New episodes start June 1st.
Find it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dear Dad, this year we're making Father's Day extra special with the Untucked shirts that you love. Untucked has the styles that'll make your summer great, from wrinkle-free shirts to performance polos and more. They're designed to be worn untucked, so you can always feel sharp even at your most casual. Father's Day is June 19th. If you still need a gift, check out the new summer styles at untucked.com or one of 80+ Untucked stores. Use code DAD for 20% off your first purchase. Untucked shirts, designed to be worn untucked.
Is your prostate
prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Is your roof full of ugly algae black stains? Just one roof restore treatment from Frederick Roofing, and you've got a clean, beautiful-looking roof for a small investment. If it has anything to do with roofing, you need to call Frederick Roofing at 645-2000. 645-2000.
Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
What is it that's made Frederick Roofing the #1 choice for more than 80,000 St. Louis roofing customers? Is it Frederick's passion for customer satisfaction? Is it Frederick's own expert, licensed, and insured crews? Is it Frederick's ability to always provide an immaculate cleanup when the job is complete? It's all of those things and more. Frederick Roofing, the smart call to make for your commercial and/or residential roof.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk. And in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcasts on Odyssey.com and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
It's time for an $89 AC tune-up.
ChevroletClean.com.
Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do
This
it.
is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Come real close. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby. Here we go.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends. From the baby formula shortage to record high inflation, it's no wonder more than a third of Americans are feeling stressed when it comes to paying for usual household items. And parents are feeling especially a lot of pressure because with these economic issues, are they going to drive them to the polls? Our next guests are all moms with some children still in diapers, mother of two. Jessica Pelea joins us now, along with mother of one and Washington Times legal affairs reporter Alex Swoyer, and mother of four and radio show host Annie Fry.
Wait, who was that last one that she said?
I believe that said Annie Fry.
Oh, interesting.
That was Fox and Friends.
And you're telling me that the host of this show was on national TV over the weekend and
Yes.
and is not talking about it at all.
You're right.
And I had to take this segment over. I wanted to tease this for 2 days. She wouldn't talk about it. And I said, we've got to do this.
We didn't have to. No, we didn't have to.
We
Yes,
we
yes,
have
we
to.
do.
She's so embarrassed that she was nationally recognized on Fox and Friends over the weekend.
It was 4 a.m.
Was it really 4?
That's when you. That's when you got.
5:30?
I was gonna say it's 5:30. I set my alarm.
Thanks,
It was
Brad.
early.
Brian, did you watch it?
I don't have cable.
When you sent that message, I was like, Brian.
I know. And plus, oh gosh, when I got that, it was super late, and so it was. You had to have not slept at all going into
Does she ever?
Sunday
I had a
morning.
couple hours.
I mean, I would think that I would be nervous enough that I wouldn't just be able to. You know, you're not going to go to sleep and then wake up at 5 and be like, okay, I'm just going to roll into my old studio there, be on Fox and Friends.
Nervous enough that you're setting up the studio at 11 the night before, and then sitting there waiting for the hit to start.
So is that your first national TV appearance?
Mm-hmm.
Can we play your actual part on this? We've got it.
I've already told you my thoughts on this.
Okay. I don't care about your thoughts. we're going to play it anyway. So that Rachel Campus Duffy is hosting.
Mm-hmm.
Annie is one of the 3 panelists discussing
She's the
inflation.
closer.
Yeah, exactly. I think now you got the logo of the show on Fox and Friends too in there. Is that right?
She had the best background.
Yes.
Thank
Okay. So Brad's going to go ahead and tee this up. This is when Rachel turns to Annie and asks a question. Well, we'll just play the question.
Well, it's an interesting proposition because if you look at what the role of government is supposed to be here, it's the FDA. And if you look back at what the FDA's role in this Abbott inspection has been, they visited in January 31st, I believe it was, of 2022. But that was following up on a September inspection that they had on this facility where that report failed to identify some June of 2020 discarded, destroyed formula. The FDA should have seen this coming a long time ago, and they should have been there to make sure that the supply shortages, which have been exacerbated by the supply chain issues due to COVID and due to poor management of the transportation of goods and services into this country. And moms across the country right now are looking right now at who's responsible for this. They want to have baby formula. We hear from this administration that, if we go on over the weekend and have a margarita, do some kickboxing, buy an electric car, that things are going to be better for us. We don't need happy hour. We need baby formula. We know what's going on right now, and we will be voting in November.
You got a lot of information into 45 seconds?
That's the first time I've listened to it.
Is it really? What did you think?
That's a pretty good point.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
If you want to go back on Monday's show and listen to the first segment, I expanded on that information because I did a lot of research for that 45 seconds.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, you had about 3 or 4 things that it was clear that you had factual information on, and you slammed them home in about as little time as you possibly could have.
That was
effective.
Great.
Absolutely effective. Has anybody talked to you about this?
See, yeah, people notice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been quoted in some national articles lately and stuff. Like you've been getting out there.
It's only when I clap back at people like Bette Midler.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, listen, woman. I don't say that.
This is big. This is great.
Yeah.
You know how weird it is? Like, yeah, this is a big deal. And she would not even tell anybody. Like, she just messaged the 3 of us going into it. Like, okay, look, you guys can watch this.
She's like, I've got a secret.
And it was like 3 hours before it was ready to happen. Don't tell anybody. I'm like, why would you not go to tell anybody?
What if it went terribly?
Well, I guess that's a good point.
But it wasn't going to.
You knew your stuff.
Yeah.
Did it go? Well, how do you feel like it went?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, but you just heard it. What do you think?
I actually think I made my point better than I felt like I did.
So you walked away feeling like, I don't know, and hearing it, you're okay.
Here's the secret. So the only person I've talked to about this is my husband. So the screen over my shoulder that said the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah.
That is projected from my computer that's sitting in front of me to the TV, like a Google Chromecast behind me.
Yeah.
And in the last 15 seconds of that interview, the screen timed out. It says connection timed out. And then it went to a screensaver. And then it goes to my Google Photos. And it picks a photo and puts it up there.
Really?
And it picked a random photo. And I am still shaking thinking about what it could have picked.
Oh my gosh.
On national television.
That photo.
And it's a picture of Evelyn.
That's good.
I don't know what it
the photo
is.
of Ryan when he was trying to look like Molly with his little broomstick?
I mean, like my Google Photos, I have an Android phone. Every photo I take on my phone
any photo
gets backed up, and it makes me sick thinking about it. I don't even I haven't gone back and found the picture that was put up there. My husband and I were looking at it going, where is this even? It looks like Evelyn in the middle of a bunch of golf clubs or something. I have no idea what the photo is, but I am thinking back on photos I've taken and what could have popped. Literally my eye is twitching right now because it stresses me out so much because I am the type of person who I exhaust thinking about everything that could possibly go wrong. And I plan for it so that there's no possibility to go wrong. Oh my gosh, that could have gone so bad. My eyes literally twitching.
Yeah,
right now.
But it didn't go
I know.
bad.
Right.
The picture you had up there at the beginning was of
It's an
baby
image.
formula and stuff?
No, it's an image I made. It's just a dark blue background with lighter blue stars on it. and it says the Annie Frey Show, and then on the bottom it says in light blue at Annie Frey Show.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the end one. Maybe that's what I was thinking of when because I thought, oh, one of those is a photo, and the other one was
vomit right now.
You are, yeah. You're describing yourself
Nobody
well.
was looking at the background. They were listening
It
to your
said
words.
on their connection timeout, and then it went to a screensaver. And I haven't said anything to anyone because I was waiting to see if nobody has pointed that out to me.
I've watched it a couple times, and I didn't notice the connection timeout thing. I noticed that the picture had changed, but I thought that was intentional. That you were because you're so planned that when somebody comes in and brings in a birthday gift in the wrong segment, it's like that's the worst, and that's what I just did to Hannah. Not a birthday gift, but a graduation gift.
He doesn't even know what the event was.
I don't even know what you're celebrating.
All I'm doing right now is thinking about all of the photos in my Google Photos. It backs them all up. All of them.
But they didn't. Only the one Evelyn came up, so it's good.
What you're saying isn't wrong, Hannah.
Yeah, I actually thought
she's like, but that's
I
not
thought
what
it was
could have been.
appropriate. I thought you actually had planned on it switching halfway through because it looked like something that was still topical. I didn't notice it was Evelyn because I think it was looking at the bottom of the picture because it cuts off. It's not like the whole screen is right there for you. But I was listening to what you were saying more than anything, which is what everybody else was doing.
You're
So don't
talking
worry about
about babies and children.
Yeah, exactly.
Went along with the theme.
You can't see who you're talking to when you're doing these.
What are you just looking at your phone or something?
No, my
Your
webcam.
How do you hear Rachel talking to you? Do you have
I had earbuds in, but you run them up your back and then behind your hair and then over the back of your ears so that you can't really see. Plus, my hair was in the right side of my hair is in front of my face a little bit, and it fell. And I was like, do I move my hair? I feel like touching your face and touching your hair is a sign of
nervousness?
I'm going to say weakness, but I mean, that's what I would classify it as. Just to brush my hair away from my face. So then my hair is kind of in my face and it drives me crazy. So that's another bad thing.
Oh, nobody notices that.
It's not true. I noticed that on other people.
Uh-oh. Well, you know what? There is one more little surprise that I have for you guys. So you were invited on Fox and Friends, which is a huge, huge deal, and you wouldn't talk about it. So I got jealous when you sent that message. And so I reached out and leveraged any power I have, which is very little.
Did you use my name?
I said, look, you invited Annie Frey on your show.
Ryan.
Here's the problem. I'm also on that show and I didn't get invited. And so they said, do you want to do a hit with Rachel Campostuffy too? And I said, yes, I do. And I want to do it now. And they said,
this is how you get your way.
And they said, okay, that's fair. We respect you tremendously and your work on the show. But you have to answer all the same questions that we were asking of the panel about inflation and baby formula. And we're only interviewing women. I said, doesn't matter. I can do that. So I did the whole bosom buddies thing. And I was not as attractive as Peter Scolari or the other guy whose name I can't remember from Bosom Buddies. But I did do the interview.
Isn't it like Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little joke.
Sorry, I'm just so culturally not relevant that I didn't realize that was a joke. Because the first name you said, I've never
Peter
heard that
Scolari?
name.
Yeah, okay. So this is my appearance, and we just shaved this down to just my parts on Fox and Friends with Rachel Campostuffy.
I already know this is ridiculous.
Right after you did your national hit. Here's
Our
mine.
next guests are all moms with some children still in diapers, mother of two. Tell me how you're reacting both to inflation and the baby formula shortage.
It's so bad for me. It's so hard. It's bad and hard.
Talk to me about inflation, but also about how
being
you're
a
dealing
girl.
with the baby formula shortage.
It's so bad and hard. It's hard, Rachel.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate it, and good luck with
Rachel.
all that you're dealing with. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on Fox and Friends. Bye, Rachel. Bye.
It's like a female Christopher Walken.
I think he sounds like Gru from Despicable Me.
The good thing is, I mean, you guys are kind of in on the joke, but nationally, they did not know that I was not a girl and that I was struggling with the same
You
issues
know,
as
you can't
all
make
of you.
those types of assumptions these days.
That's true. So I thought that went pretty well. I will say from experience that I was pretty nervous, though. So having gone through the same thing that you went through,
I was more nervous for what you just did there than I was for my own hit.
No need. I felt like, though, that I spoke for the people, and I felt pretty good walking away from that. America felt the same way.
I don't even know what to do next.
Yours was at 5:30. Mine was at 5:40.
I've got an idea.
You do? Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge congratulations. I thought that was such a big deal.
Yes,
and we
it is a
had to
big
talk
deal.
about it, and you just were like,
Man, I'm feeling left out here. Ryan and Annie were on Fox and Friends. Hannah graduated, and
yeah,
I'm here.
You turned on the music, did a great job.
Yes.
You're in the big leagues here.
Yeah.
You're a postgraduate executive producer of the Annie Frey Show, and I personally think the Annie Frey Show team has never been stronger. Let's take a quick break, and we'll do the poll question when we come back. If Georgia's endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no? What do you think? Go vote. Leave your comment. Back in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
The Mark Reardon Show. Frank Cusimano, who joins us every Monday and Friday. If you are sick, you go to a doctor. If you're a struggling baseball team, you go to Pittsburgh.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You've heard me talk about Slim 180 before, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about Slim 180 again. I am partnering with Slim 180 to lose that extra COVID weight. I know that it's something that a lot of us can relate to. We've spent 2 years not living our lives normally, and we're back to it. And you're thinking about being outside, being active, being by the pool, the beach, and you want to live a healthier you. That means a lot more now than it ever has before. Talk to Slim 180 about how they can help you get there. They're working with me, and I've had amazing results so far. They have multiple programs, including 2 new ones that are perfectly suited to helping you achieve that healthy new you that you've been looking for. The first one is Crave. Have you ever tried to lose weight, but you fall off programs because of cravings? Now, with this new product, Crave will help you control your cravings so that you can have effective weight loss. How about Regenerate? Another reason besides cravings that people struggle to lose weight, especially in an older population, is insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Regenerate is going to help you control your blood glucose levels so that the pounds start falling off. These are lifestyle changes that are going to pay dividends for you, losing 3 to 5 pounds per week. It's an amazing opportunity for you to get involved and lose the weight. I'm doing it, and I've already seen massive results, and I know you will as well. You can reach out to him online at myslim180.com.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired. Like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Need more living space to enjoy every moment you spend at home? Time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. Whether you want a luxurious bathroom, an updated kitchen with tons of counter space, a finished basement, or a bump-out addition, Lakeside does it all. We don't subcontract, and we guarantee our work with a lifetime workmanship warranty, so you can rest assured you get the home interior of your dreams. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new HVAC system and save $50 to $250 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying products. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So glad that you're here with us today. A great day to go back and rewind the show in the Odyssey app. If you have not had a chance to do that, go download the Odyssey app. It's your best friend if you love this show specifically, but if you love the whole station, because you can rewind the station up to 24 hours prior to that moment in time. For instance, at 12:25 to hear Hans von Spakovsky weigh in on some of the bombshells in the Sussman trial that has implicated Hillary Clinton as somebody who was a party to the knowledge of the fake information that they leaked to the FBI. And also at 1:05, Jim Carafano on with us talking about what the heck is going on with the Taiwan situation, the president's comments, the White House's clarifications on those comments, a U.S. policy, and China, Russia, and then again the southern border. And we met Matt Hausman, who's running for the 13th district in Illinois in that open seat due to redistricting. He's running for Congress. We met him at 1:25. So lots to get on the Odyssey app and rewind to hear the whole show. And a reminder, you can listen to our podcast there as well. News to Ryan Wiggins as of yesterday, our podcasts, including his, are also on Spotify.
Yeah, big deal. You can find it in a lot of places, including Spotify.
Do you know the other places you can find it?
I can find out. I don't know offhand.
Oh, no.
Well, I know it's on our website, so 971talk.com.
Apple Podcast.
Easiest place to get it is the Odyssey app. If you're not a podcasting person, just go to the Odyssey app. If you are a podcasting person, chances are the Annie Frey Show podcast is there, and Wiggins America. You can check both out there. Rate the shows too on the podcasting platforms because it really does help people find us. Do you have a couple of people who are Trump endorsed real quick before we get to the poll?
I do, yeah. Just the big ones really quick. Alabama, he's endorsing Mo Brooks for Senate.
Did he just pull out?
I think he just pulled that.
Trump,
as of today?
In this show, Trump rescinded his endorsement.
No kidding? Do we know why? Well, that's like breaking big news. No, wow, that's a big deal going into the primary.
Yeah,
gosh.
Go on with the other ones, and Brad's going to get you an update on that.
In Arkansas, he is endorsing his former press secretary. No surprise there, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
For governor.
For governor, yep. And there's always some down ballot.
I don't even know anybody else's name who's running for governor in that
I
state.
can't imagine. Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer.
Because to me, like if Sarah Huckabee Sanders is, of course, the former press secretary for the Trump administration, but also the daughter of
the former governor.
Huckabee, what's his first name?
Mike
Huckabee.
Yeah.
It's like John, Rob. No, that's not. Mr. Governor.
Mr. Governor Huckabee.
But I mean, it's not like that Huckabee name has its own coattails without the presence of the Trump endorsement, but it's not going to hurt.
Oh, no. I mean, she's a shoo-in for that. Georgia is kind of the big one. Trump is backing former Senator David Perdue for governor of Georgia, but Perdue is trailing in the polls to current Governor Brian Kemp, who's running for re-election. And here's what's really interesting about this one. Trump is backing Perdue. Mike Pence is backing Kemp. So there's a bit of a fight on two levels going on there. And then Trump is also backing other candidates other than Brad Raffensperger because he didn't like what he did during the election and after the election. So he's backing Jody Heiss there for the Secretary of State. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that one's way down ballot,
I
but still
cannot
big
wait
name.
to see what the results of that particular primary race, what that results, because who Marjorie Taylor Greene was when she ran the first time and who she has. I mean, if you pay attention to politics, and I imagine if you're in that district, you have an opinion on her one way or the other. Go to a lot of other districts across the country. People don't know who their congressional representative is.
Right.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene, people in her district are going to know her. So it's going to be a really interesting referendum on her and her brand. And if she gets a ton of support that shows up to say, no, we love this person, then, that's kind of one of the, it's like the AOCs of the world. AOC represents her district. She has a massive platform because people are obsessed with giving her one. It's the same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I've made that connection before and I forgot about it. But as I was saying it, they are kind of like the counterpoints
sure,
in their respective parties.
Vernon Jones, big name. He's running for a House seat. Trump has endorsed him. Herschel Walker is running for a Senate seat. That seems like a shoe-in. Trump has endorsed him. Last one in Texas. Trump has backed Ken Paxton for his bid for a third term as Texas Attorney General. Ken Paxton has done a lot of work and a lot of national lawsuits, along with actually our own Eric Schmidt, and been very, very effective. So Trump is all on the Paxton's train. And that's the main ones to watch tonight.
All right. So before, Hannah, tell us what the poll is, and then I want to know what you guys think about it before we get to the results.
The poll question is, if Trump's Georgia endorsements are a failure, will it weaken his power of influence? Yes or no?
What do you think, Ryan?
Yes, I do think it will, especially with Perdue versus Kemp. I think that's the key one.
Don't you think he's going to lose these?
I do. I think he's going to lose that one in particular.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it weakens him. I don't think it hobbles him, but I do think it weakens him.
What do you think, Hannah?
It's hard.
You can say no.
Or you can say you don't know.
I don't know. That's my response. I voted yes, but I've been thinking about it since I voted, and I'm going to say I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. I think that the Trump coattails are super effective, and I think that if they don't, the only reason why they might have an effect is because if he loses some of the races today that I think he's going to lose, the mainstream media. God, not the mainstream media. Remember, people have to watch it for it to be mainstream, and people don't watch it. The Trump-hating, left-leaning media is going to be obsessed with that story for as long as they can get away with it.
Yeah, they will. It's going to hurt him mainly because of that. He's still the gold standard for endorsements, though. I mean, there is no higher endorsement.
And Georgia is such a ground zero for so much controversy. So what do we got in the results?
So 67% of the voters said that they don't think it will weaken his power of influence, and 33% of the people said that it would.
Okay. So people are still thinking that the Trump coattails stay strong. 67% of them do. I'll be interested to see. I mean, I honestly think that it would be a shocker if Kemp doesn't win that Georgia primary.
I do too. And here's the deal. If Perdue even comes close, that'll show that Trump's endorsement means a ton. He didn't even have to win, because right now the polling is vast that Perdue's behind. So if Perdue makes it a race, that's a win for Trump.
Yeah, you do. That it is important. And Trump has said this before, his people have said this before, but it's not just if they win, it's how much ground did they cover. I mean, especially if you look at the Pennsylvania race or even the Ohio race, Senate races, Trump has been a factor in every single race that he's involved himself in, and his batting average is pretty fantastic. So if he loses a few here, on the whole, he's still going to have been pretty successful, but these are very marquee races that he's been aggressively against the mainstream, which is totally not shocking to anybody. All right. Thank you for being here today. The Mark Reardon Show is coming up next, so stick around for that. All of it on the Odyssey app. Download it and become friends with us there. Stick around. The Mark Reardon Show taking over next.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with